This is Business Decoded podcast with Ronnie Spellman. An informal chats with top business moguls as they share their stories of failure and success in a fun and relaxed way. Get entertained, educated, and unlock the secrets to success.
Welcome to Business Decoded with Ronnie Spellman. I'm here with a great friend, Rick Hopper. Rick.
What's up, buddy?
You're an entrepreneur, founder of Readerest, was your great invention. You're a serial entrepreneur, so you're doing all kinds of amazing things in business. And now for me, Rick, you represent what this show is absolutely all about. The person that has a great idea, finds a vehicle to sell it, and then builds something absolutely amazing. And
it's not my fault.
Now, so the quick summary, you've been on Shark Tank. You've had this wonderful project. It was picked up by Lori Greiner on Shark Tank. You were on Shark Tank back in the early days.
Year 3, season 3.
Which is amazing. People saw it coming, but you were on before it became the phenomenon that it became. But how are you? And then you moved from California to Texas.
For obvious reasons.
You moved to the business state to continue building your business. Good to see you.
I left the most beautiful state with the greatest climate in the world to go to the state with the greatest people in the world.
That is so cool. And then you grew up in the surf capital of the world, right?
Surfed and snowboarded all my entire life. I actually invented the snowboard. I made this. I always wanted to surf in the snow, so my friends were going to Mammoth to go skiing, and I was shaping skimboards at the time. If you don't know what they are, look them up. Yeah. One of the best sports ever. And I shaped this thing I called my snow surfer.
Okay.
And it looks like what a snowboard looks like today. And I went to the mountains. They wouldn't let me on the lift. They kicked me out. They said, you can't go up here with, what is that thing? So anyway, so I had to hike up the mountain, surfed in the snow. It was amazing. Then I loaned it out. Somebody broke it in half. And then Burton showed up with the real snowboard.
So is that a real story?
It's a true story. I will not. Okay, I promise. I'll tell one lie today, and you got to figure out which one it is. I'm totally joking. You're only going to get the whole truth, nothing but.
That is fun. So you, what is that on your shirt, by the way? For those people that are only listening, you're wearing a bunch of glasses.
Can the camera see it?
Yeah, the camera can see it.
Okay, so most people wear their glasses in their shirt or in a pocket. You bend over, they fall out.
Right. Or they wear it on their head and they don't remember and they're looking for the glasses.
And if you don't have hair, sorry, bald guys, you put those glasses on your head, those dents could be permanent. I'm not joking. These little things, they'll put dents in the top of your head. Anyway, sorry, guys. Okay, I'm pretty good at this. Okay,
yeah.
I can find the sucker without looking every time. But it's magnetic little. Here, I'll tell you. I'll show you what it is.
Yeah. So
just one on the topic. It's a magnetic eyeglass holder.
Okay.
It just it attaches magnetically.
So that is your invention.
This is my invention.
How did you come up with that? Where were you out surfing? You thought, I can't find my Oakleys. What was that?
No, I found out since then that 10,000 people turn 50 every day in the United States.
Okay.
And 75% of all humans lose control of that muscle that adjusts, and you have to start putting your hand out.
Right.
Like I can't see like that.
Right.
Well, when I was 40 and a half, all of a sudden, after making fun of my friend that had to start wearing glasses the year before, that happened to me. It was like overnight. And anybody that watches this show knows what I'm talking about, that they're 40, 50s. So I'm like, I got to do something better. And it's a long story. It's actually not even my idea.
Okay.
A friend of mine says, dude, we got to do something about our glasses.
Right.
We should do something with, he saw somebody wearing like a clip, like a pin or something.
Right.
He says, he said, you should do something with magnets, because he worked at the phone company. He didn't want to take any risks and jump into any business. He was on path to retirement. And so I was just about to sell a company. I had started years before. I developed a line of products for window installers called Trim Quick.
Really?
It's a great little solution for window installers. It was a long. I have 1,000 stories.
I want to hear more about that, but finish this one. That's fantastic.
Okay, so I did. I started bending paper clips into a U shape. I pocketed it to magnets, and then literally for a year, it wasn't a business, didn't have a name. Right. It was a paper clip on my shirt, but 3 people every day, at least 3 people would stop and, well, hey, what is that on your shirt?
That is hilarious.
And that's my paperclip thingy.
Right. That was the name of a paperclip thingy. I love it.
And then I crashed. I was 46 years old.
Right.
I had electric skateboard my whole life since they invented them. And I was doing 30 miles an hour. I crashed my electric skateboard and broke my shoulder. 8-month recovery. It was a bad accident.
Ouch.
Broke my wrist. I mean, I hurt myself pretty bad. But when I got to the ER, my glasses were still in my paperclip thingy. These things work.
So this was at 40 something
46.
that you were on this. skateboard?
Oh, yeah. Well, my friends would see me going down the road, and they'd call me later. Hey, bro, I just want to talk to you about your skateboard. I'm like, what's up? Like,
That's
I'm like,
hilarious.
it's amazing. You should try it. Like, no, dude, you're going to die. You're literally going to die. Do you have any idea how fast you're going? You're going to die. You're 46 years old. I'm like going, oh my God, I am.
So what happened? Did you start selling this paperclip at different stores or?
No, I realized this might be the next big thing. So
Okay.
I went into production. I bought 50,000 magnets, and
Really?
I finished selling my other company. And I thought, so after I sold my company, my wife's like, a couple weeks later, my wife's like, honey, what are you going to do?
Right.
And I go, what, today? She goes, no, every day. You're driving me crazy. This is my house. You go work, and I have the house.
Right.
You come here to sleep. You can't hang out here all day.
That's hilarious.
So I thought, maybe I'll do something with my paperclip thingy. And I did.
Okay.
I did. The rest is history.
Well, I knew you were a serial entrepreneur. I didn't know that you had few businesses before your business with the paperclip. That's cool.
Well, it was, so I was a window and door installer. Do you want to go way back?
Yeah,
You wanna
I
get
love
into-
it.
you wanna get into some dark stuff?
I was in Orange County. I lived in Orange County, if you remember that.
Where
For
exactly? Where
13.
again?
I was in Irvine and,
Oh, yeah.
and Aliso Viejo. And then I worked in home building. So I dealt
Central
a
Orange
lot
County.
with the window companies there.
Yeah.
I worked a lot with a company called ABC Windows.
Yeah,
on that
ABC,
market.
Milgard.
Yeah.
I know where they're at.
Milgard. Knew them well.
Anlin, all the
knew all of them.
usual suspects.
Yep, had a
Yeah.
pretty big window deal with those companies. And the Masco was one of my installers back in the day and some of the other companies. So
Very cool.
I know it, yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
dude. Like
I know. This is we
that's
were,
it.
we were
Same
neighbors.
industry, the same neighborhood. It's amazing.
So you got into so what were the other companies? Let's go way back.
So way back, I went to college twice.
Okay.
I made it halfway through a semester both times. I'm not slow. School is slow.
Right.
And I had to go make money.
They couldn't keep up with you.
They did just fine. It was me.
Okay.
So I just went into construction.
Nice.
And I got really good at doing doors and windows, and math and geometry was my thing. So I
Right.
did a lot of tricky carpentry work and
Right.
crown molding and mantles, and did a lot of technical type of stuff. And I got really good at doing doors and windows.
And
Doors.
when did you start in that business?
I was 20,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
I worked for California Closets, was one of my first
Yeah.
construction jobs. And then I lied to this guy one time. When I got into the door business, this guy, I saw this ad for making way more money than I was making installing closets. And I called the guy, and he goes, you know how to install doors? I go, yes, sir, I do. Because I'd seen it done. How hard could it be? So my first day on the job, I brought my brand new tool bags because I wasn't really a door installer. So he was
You
building
purchased
French
tool
doors.
bags just for this meeting, right?
Yeah. So I go in, and I saw him look at my tool bags, and we go into the back of the shop, and he says, so I don't care what you know. I don't care how many doors you've installed. I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I want it done, and that's how you're going to do it. And I'm in my mind, I don't know if I was playing poker at the time, if I had a poker face, or if I went, yeah, free education. So I learned how to. That's where I really started learning how to do doors.
I thought you were going to say he tested you. Go install this door in the back room. But that's
No.
fantastic that he was willing to show you his way.
Yeah, that was great.
That is too funny. Now, that industry is such a good industry. And I asked when you started because I was there starting in 2002. And we were building a lot of homes in California, Arizona, Nevada, right before the housing crisis. And so it sounds like you sold your business
You're
right
probably a
around
little
that time.
younger than I am.
We're close. But yet.
I was born in 65.
Okay.
I just turned 60.
Okay.
I had a great birthday.
Oh, I love it.
Newport Beach, walking on this beach every
Did you?
night. Oh, God, so great.
I didn't
Anyway.
get the invite.
I'm sorry,
Was
buddy.
it?
Actually, nobody got invited except for my grandkids.
Okay.
That was a very
Okay.
intimate little birthday party. So when I was in construction, I'm going to say 1980. We're talking about 1980s, way back in the 1900s.
Right. They still had oranges in Orange County back in the day.
Oh yeah. I grew up in Orange County with
Right.
the oranges. I would walk to school and literally eat oranges to and from school. Free oranges. So construction, I got pretty good at it, and then I installed thousands of windows and thousands of doors for a long time. Well, during that time, I'm going to get dark for a minute.
Sure.
I was a good kid. I didn't use drugs as a kid, but when I was 26, I started smoking meth.
Oh.
You ask, how does somebody do that?
Right.
You go from you don't do drugs to you smoke meth? That's insane.
Right.
Well, my neighbors were doing it, and they seemed like they were pretty successful guys, and I was installing a door for them, and they said, "Hey, check this out." And the idiot that I am, because I'm a kind of a guy, I'll try anything once.
Right.
Well, I recommend you're watching this, don't try anything once.
Right.
And I'm serious.
Right.
I mean, there's so many people dying of fentanyl because they're trying something they don't know what it is.
Right.
They're being told it's one thing, and it winds up
Something
and it's killing our. Okay, that's a whole nother podcast.
It is.
Anyway, so I got strung out on meth for 2.5 years. I'm a 200-pound guy, and I weighed 145 pounds for a while. Spent some time in jail. My wife kicked me out. Spent some time on the street. I got clean July 13th, 1994, 31 years ago.
Wow.
And that's all I'm going to say about that, other than I will have a resource on my website in the very near future, rickhopper.com.
Sure.
And I'm going to have a free credit repair PDF, because I went from 540 score. I'm an 860 credit score now. Nice. I know how to go from addiction to not addiction to poor to a multimillionaire. And I've been through down a lot of roads that a lot of people want to travel. So I'm going to give people a lot of free resources for that stuff.
Nice. And that is beautiful to hear, because I think you're right that you can become an entrepreneur. All it takes is a little vision and some hard work, and you can make that transition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
Very
amazing.
few people know. Once I was on Shark Tank. Have we talked about that at all yet?
Not yet.
We'll get to that.
Yet. Yes.
But once I was on Shark Tank, everybody you spend 15 minutes on Shark Tank, everybody thinks you're a genius. I have had hundreds of people call me and, hey, I don't know what to do next.
Right.
I have this idea, or I have a patent.
Right.
But I don't have an inventory. I don't know how to get it made. Or I have this inventory. I don't know how to get it sold. So there's all these steps in the process. I've done it a couple times.
I love it. I want to ask you this question, and then we can go down that path. But back to, I know we don't want to discuss it too much, but I think, if I remember correctly, there was some connection to faith during that moment. You interact with someone that said, "Look, Rick, here's where we need to go." And whatever part of that story you'd love to share, I'd love for people to hear it, because we're not a faith-based show or the like, but I know that changed your life significantly.
Oh, okay. So it took me some time to restore my faith to the God of my youth. Right. So I was in church sometimes as a kid, and I had some understanding. And my girlfriend at the time, her dad was a preacher, and he would, when I'd leave their house, he would give me a little business card. Did I tell you this? Did I tell you this story?
No.
I never heard this part. Yeah. Her dad would hand me a business card with a Bible verse on it and say, "Don't come back till you got it memorized."
Oh, yes.
So here's this teenage kid memorizing Bible scriptures so he could hang out with his girlfriend. and I think the Bible says it's like when the word of God goes in, it stays in. It's pretty powerful. I will say this, for anybody in your audience who is not of faith, who is kind of like they want nothing to do with Jesus, hell, or any of that, I have a recommendation. And I've challenged a lot of people to do this.
Okay.
It's incredible. There's one book right in the middle of the Bible that was written 4,000 years ago by one of the most successful people that ever walked the earth.
Oh, wow.
His name was Solomon, King Solomon.
Right.
This is not like Bible theory, and this is not mystery. There's enough evidence. This guy was a real guy that lived at a time. And so he wrote 31 chapters. Right. Well, they and it's a contrast between the fool and the wise man. You know what I'm talking about? The Proverbs are amazing. What I love about the Proverbs, anybody can read it. There's no Jesus. There's no hell. It's a guy the wisest, most successful guy that ever walked the earth, giving you kind of all the secrets of life. I challenge every one of your listeners for at least for 1 month, maybe 6 months, read one a day, because it takes about 3 minutes to read, and there's 31 chapters, so you can read one a day. If it's 14th of the month, crack that sucker right open in the middle, look for Proverbs chapter 14 and read it. You're not going to understand all of it, but you're going to get something powerful every time you do it.
I love it. I
swear by it. So to answer your question,
podcasts are so popular, even monkeys are doing it.
75% of Americans listen to podcasts monthly. That's 210 million people in the United States alone. And yes, podcasts are profitable. Joe Rogan is making $30 million per year. Your content, your knowledge is worth sharing. Don't just dream it, do it. Visit andycostafilms.com/podcast and turn your content into leaks.
I called my old girlfriend's dad. I was separated from my wife, and I said, "Hey, Mr. A, leave his name out of it." And it's Mr. A. how do I come back? I went to a Harvest Crusade in Southern California. I'm not familiar. If you know Greg Laurie, Harvest Crusade. So
I know them well. In fact, the building that I was in last in California, we moved out so that they can move in to take over our building. So there are a lot of connection. Then one of my right-hand people went to Harvest Church.
Oh, very good. Yeah. So I went to Harvest Crusade on July 13th, 1994.
Right.
And I was looking for restoration in my heart. I was really looking to rekindle that the relationship with the God of my youth, because the people that I literally, when I was in high school, I would lead people. I would pick up a hitchhiker.
Right.
We'd a few miles down the road, we're on the side of the road crying, saying the sinner's prayer. I lead the guy to Christ.
Nice.
And then the next thing I know, I'm slinging dope to those same people. So I really believed I had committed the unforgivable sin, because I knew better. I had seen the power of God, and I went a different direction.
Right.
And I got goosebumps when I just talk about this. I thought I'd committed the unforgivable sin. So when I asked Mr. A, hey, how do I get back? He called me back to, he says, look, Revelation chapter 2 talks about the church of Ephesus, I believe. Right. Church of Ephesus. And that they had lost their way. They need to rekindle their faith. They restore themselves back to their first love. And he says the trick is, and it's in the Bible, when you're really in love, you feel amazing about the person you're in love with, and you do things that show that love to that person.
Absolutely.
Well, the only way to get back to those feelings is doing those things out of discipline.
Okay.
So the things you did out of love, you have to go back the same way. You have to do the things you used to do. So I went and got a turntable, and I started listening to the music I used to listen to back then. I started talking to the people I used to talk to back then. I try to go back and do it. It's not an event. It's a process.
Right.
So I made it back.
Oh, wow. That is, and thank you for sharing that, by the way, because I know there are a lot of people, and it's interesting. I've seen so many people build wonderful businesses. I was thinking of this the other night, build great businesses. You know, they're buying the boats. They have them docked in Florida. They have the Lamborghini. I was talking to a guy just a few months ago about it. Lost everything. And the question is, how do you find your footing again? And so to hear you talk about that journey, it's the same thing, is how do you find your footing again? And to have someone to give you that encouragement and coaching is what a lot of people need, right?
Well, if you never leave the basics, you never have to go back to them.
Right. That's true. So you were working in doors and windows. When did you create your window company? And what was your process to creating that business?
I wouldn't call it a window company. I would call it Rick's Door and More. That's what I called it back then. I was Rick. I do doors and more. So I had this little business card, Rick's Door and More. I didn't know anything about business at all. So, but I was out there doing projects, doing windows and doors. And then when I got out of jail and I got clean, I went to work at Home Depot.
Okay.
And I needed a regiment. I needed a good regular gig, and it wasn't nearly enough money to pay the bills, but I was really good at doing doors and windows, so I continued to do doors and windows on the side on the evenings and weekends. And I'd make more money in half a day than I would all week. But it was a stable. And then also, it was back in the heydays of Home Depot when the training was the best and when they treated their people the best. And stock prices went up and split and went up and split. So I rode the wave. I saved. And that's back when you were allowed to put 35% of your paycheck into stock.
Right.
So I did.
Nice.
So I saved up enough money. Miraculously, the wife of my youth took me back, and we wound up having our third kid. And had that little guy's 28 now, and we got 5 grandkids. So it's an absolute miracle.
There was a contractor that always stays vivid in my mind. So I handled supply chain and home building out in California, Arizona, Nevada. This guy had built a great drywall and paint business. When I knew him, the business had grown to about 60 million. Very faith-oriented guy, but he wasn't always. He was into drugs as well and some other things. But I was asking him, how'd you start your business? This was 15 years ago. How'd you get started? And he said, Ron, here's the deal on my business. Again, great successful company, 60 plus million in annual revenue. He said, a bunch of us, me and my friends, we needed drinking money. And so we decided to get into painting and drywall so that we can have drinking money. Perfect. And then they built a business, and then he had kind of the same thing. Someone pulled him back into his faith, and he changed his life significantly. He was a wonderful guy when I knew him. I was doing some wonderful things, but the same thing. He said, we needed some drinking money.
Well, that's how I came up with Trim Quick.
Okay.
My brother-in-law he had come up with an idea for this plant watering device,
Right.
and it had a lot of moving parts, and we need a lot of. And this was, I can't. It was. I was clean for a few years, and we're going to Home Depot. But he came up with this idea. So I said, come over. I got all the tools. We'll build a prototype. So we built a prototype of this little thing. We're like, oh my God. And then we started talking to injection molders and stuff. How are we going to get this built? We needed hundreds of thousands of dollars for tooling.
Oh, wow.
So we're trying to figure out how are we going to come up with the money for all that tooling. So I was trying to figure out how we could do it. And then so I thought, well, and then at the same time, I had bought my house. I was doing my own windows, and I got mad at the window industry for not creating a product that simplified my life as a window installer.
Interesting.
So Trim Quick actually is a great little product that simplifies the life. So basically, it was when you put in a replacement window,
Right.
there's a gap around the interior.
Yes.
So I created this thing. It's a peel and stick window trim. You put it around the interior. You caulk it in, and it's done. It matches the window. So where we used to cut wood, nail it on, fill the nail holes, paint the wood to match the wall. So Trim Quick was faster, better looking, and less expensive.
Nice.
100% sales rate.
Wow.
Super easy to sell. Quit my job at Home Depot. And so this was supposed to be to help us make enough money to do the water reacher, we called it.
Gotcha.
And turned out it wasn't about water reacher.
Right.
It was about Trim Quick.
Right.
It was the vehicle that got us there. Same thing.
Right. So what happened to Trim Quick? How did it grow? How did you scale the business?
He had a landscape company at the time, and I convinced him to come on. Basically I gave him half the company.
Okay.
We partnered up. We created a partnership around the water reacher thing.
Okay.
The watering device.
Right.
And then so when I started doing Trim Quick, he originally was like, "No, it's a stupid idea." And he said, because once the window companies find out you're making money, they'll step on you and just do it.
Right.
Then I found out these window companies need to make big stuff fast.
Right.
And they're basically pounds per hour.
Yes.
And this stuff is little.
Right.
So it wasn't worth their hassle.
Exactly.
So here we are, many years later. He bought the company from me completely.
Oh.
I'm out. He owns the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
The guy that said, that's a stupid idea. It'll never make money.
Right.
And if it does, you're going to get stomped on, is the owner of the company.
That's fantastic.
We haven't talked for about 15 years. We had a falling out.
Sure.
I'm not going to get into anything negative, but I will say this. We were the greatest partners ever to live. Our strengths and weaknesses were opposite each other.
Right.
And my strengths complement his weaknesses and vice versa. Great. And this isn't a talk on partnerships, so I'll just end that there.
But you know what's funny, though? I was just thinking that I actually want to do a program. I'm looking at the show producing now. I want to do a program just on that topic because I've seen so many partners. They get together, they have a great partnership, and then things happen over decades. No different than a lot of marriages, right? You just kind of grow in different ways. And then those partnerships end in business. I've seen a lot of law firms with their names on the letterhead, and they split. And how do you transition through those changes? And it happens all the time in business.
I've heard, I don't remember where I heard it, but the only ship guaranteed to sink is the partnership. and it's not because it's not set up right. It's usually because it's not set up right, actually. Right. But it's because people don't realize in the beginning that things are going to change. Priorities are going to change.
Right.
Exact ideas are going to change. So one person's going to peter out. The other one's going to get more excited, and they grow apart. One's going to want to take an exit. Somebody's spouse dies. Their priorities change. I'm out.
Exactly.
Like, well, they didn't plan for any of that.
And then people grow differently as well. Some people change as things evolve, and others want to stay the same as they did 15 years ago from a business perspective.
Yeah.
And the reason I was also thinking about it, because our show producer, Andy Costa, I've gotten to know him well. We've been really good partners. I've had a lot of partnerships in organizations and businesses. Andy's fantastic. Now, he's not afraid to say, yes, Ronnie, no, Ronnie, this is wrong. And I do the same, but we make a really, really good team. So I was thinking about that the other day. So next time you come on, we're going to do a show on partnerships.
We will. And I'll throw a teaser out there. My brother-in-law and I, we went and got advice from a partnership that was a very successful partnership. Right. And they told us I said, how do you guys, why all the other partnerships fail? And you guys are partners for decades. Okay. They sat across the table from the two of us and they said, 2 rules.
Right.
We broke one of them.
Okay.
There's your teaser. We'll talk about the 2 rules in another show.
Okay. So you sold the trim company.
Yep. I sold it. I sold my portion of it to my 50% partner.
Okay.
It's about 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
And then is that what led you to really focus on the eyeglass product?
Yeah, it's funny. I remember he used to make fun of me because I was wearing my paperclip when we were separating, and we weren't getting
He
along.
told you the same thing again, right? That's the dumb idea.
That's the stupidest idea I've ever seen. A lot of people have. I have most of my friends back then. One of them pulled me aside and says, "Rick, really, bro, you're better than this."
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what do you mean by that? I mean, okay, fine, whatever. But it's like, you don't have to do this. You should do something big. I'm going, nah, I think this is big.
I love it. So I know we only have a few minutes in this segment, and we're going to definitely have you on for a second program. But tell me the story how you found Shark Tank. When it was, I think it was 2012, I was working with an organization, private equity, we were ramping it up. And I had an employee, 2012. I hadn't heard much about the show back then, and I was in Southern California. And he wasn't performing really well, but smart young guy. And I remember him saying something that stood out. He's like, yeah, I don't really need this place. I'm going to go on Shark Tank. And I'm thinking, I have no idea what you're talking about, but good luck. But he was talking about the show.
I'm scared of sharks. That's what you were thinking. Why would you go play with sharks?
But it was interesting because he had a few ideas, and his position is that I'm going to try to get on the program and grow that idea. But how did you find it? How did you even learn about it and then apply to get on? Everyone, I'm sure, wants to know the background.
Have I told you the story?
You have not told.
Oh, this is good for everybody.
Yes.
Okay. I've only told this story like 14,000 times, so I'm really good at it. No. So when I was doing this, I had already built a company from the ground up, and exited my portion of it. And so I kind of had a pretty good idea, but I wanted to figure out who my customer was. Sure. What's my price point?
Right.
So I put a little 10 by 10 booth together, and I built a bunch of parts. I made like a whole bunch of these things ahead of time, and I'm in my garage gluing them together. And,
I love it.
And then so I thought, I got to figure out who my customers are. So I started doing trade shows, street fairs, farmers markets, gun show, golf show, quilt show. I don't care, wherever there was going to be thousands of people, I'm going to have my booth in front of them, and I'm going to tell them about my product.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, don't lose your spot. But people out here and across the country, they might not know what a swap meet is, by the way. That's it. It seems like a distinctly California thing.
I think they call it a flea market.
Yeah,
or like an outdoor open air market or whatever.
At the old drive-in movie theaters.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, sorry about that.
That's stuff of the 1900s right there, which was, just a few minutes ago. So and people are like, it was new. So people go out to my booth, and my slogan on the back of my backdrop said, "Where are my glasses?"
Right.
And so people would walk by, and subconsciously they'd be like, they would look at my booth, and then all of a sudden they're looking for their glasses. Right. And then they'd stop, and they're looking at it like this, and I go like this, and I show them what it is, and blah, 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 and they're like, oh my gosh, and they're pulling money out of their pocket before they even know how much it is.
Right.
However, little trick before I get to the Shark Tank thing, how I learned about it. I was trying to figure out who my customers are and what my price point is. So one day I'd charge $5 for them.
Okay.
And people come up to my booth, $5. I wouldn't pay $2 for that thing. And they walk off.
Okay.
The next day, I got a guy with a lanyard coming by, and he goes, $10. And he puts it on. He's like, takes his lanyard off that he probably paid more for, throws it in my trash can next to my table, and he starts walking. When he turns around, he goes, $10? What a deal! Wow. So you got perceived value. Interesting. And then you have the opposite of that, which is a perceived lack of value. Right. If you don't have the right price point. So we've been selling for $10 for many years now.
Interesting.
Shark Tank.
Yes.
While I was doing all these trade shows, gun shows, golf shows, all these places, the one thing I heard most, dude, you got to get on Shark Tank.
Really?
And I don't watch TV much at all, and I'd never seen it. They had 2 seasons already done in the bag, and they were apparently about to start taping season 3. And so I didn't pay any attention to it. I'm not going on some stupid game show, because I would go, oh yeah, what's Shark Tank? And people would say, it's a contest, you could win. It's a game show. It's this. I'm not going on some stupid game show. I'm going to business, man. I don't need to. So he goes. So finally, my best friend calls me, the one that actually originally gave me the idea. He says, dude, you're an idiot. And he hung up on me. It was one late night. I'm going, whoa, what's up, bro? I call, and he's all, why haven't you looked at Shark Tank yet? It's a big deal. Like, all right, fine. So I looked it up, and I'm like, I watched a couple 2-minute snippets of the show. I'm like, okay, everybody but me knows about this. Maybe I can get on the show. So I don't know if I should say this, but I lied and cheated to get on the show.
Oh, okay.
Did I tell you the story?
No.
Yet? Okay. So I go on their website. I try to, how do I submit for this thing? So I'm poking around. I'm not that savvy with computers, so I'm poking around trying to get in. And so I found this thing: is submit your product, whatever. So, and up front it says, do not send samples.
Okay.
Do not send videos. Do not attach videos.
Right.
Give us this information: your name, your domain name, your information, a brief description, and then attach a picture of yourself. They want to see what you look like.
Okay. Okay.
So I do the whole thing, give them all the information. At the bottom, I put, if you want to see a picture of me, click on this link. There's a moving picture. Right by where it says, don't send a video, I send a video. You know what I had to lose? Nothing.
Right.
So sure enough, a week later, I get a call from the head producer. First thing he says, nice video.
That's hilarious.
I go, you like that? He goes, actually, yeah, it was a really good video.
After telling
Little 30-second demo. Hey, Rick Hopper here. Well, I hate losing my glasses. Every time I scratched again. Oh my God. Look at simple solution. Readerest. You bend over, all you want, your glasses never fall. And it was just a short
I love it.
demo video.
So they didn't give you any grief on sending the video in that call?
This is where we got grief. No, heck no.
Okay, good.
The guy called me.
I love it.
It's over. I already made the mistake.
Right.
He forgave me because it was a great product.
Right.
So next thing you know, am I getting too excited?
Oh, you're great.
So so he says, all right, we needed 45 minutes of your time next Thursday, blah, blah, blah. So I get a phone call. Now, I don't know if I'm allowed to say all this stuff because whatever. So he says that we do this interview. And he says, okay, and be memorable. So my most memorable experience was my skateboard crash. So when I get into the Shark Tank, I'm going to trip and fall and do a tumble on the ground and pop up. My glasses are going to be so stuck. So when I do this interview, I go, hey, before I give you my pitch, I got to tell you, when I walk down the corridor and I come into the studio, I'm going to trip and fall and pop up. He says, no stunts.
Okay.
I go, it's not a stunt. I have to take the fall. He goes, no stunts. I go, listen, man, I'm not going to get hurt, blah, blah. He's like, no stunts.
Okay.
I said, sorry, bro, I'm doing this. It's not a stunt. And I'm going to do it. So he says one expletive, what do you call it?
Right.
He's okay, send me a video of your stunt and I'll see if I can get it past legal.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, it's not a stunt, but I'll send you a video. Right. I'm arguing with this guy for no reason. So anyway, I got it passed. I was the first guy on national TV on Shark Tank to ever fall down on the set.
Really?
And it popped up, and Lori Grenier was there, and we got a deal done.
I love it. And we're going to bring you, we're at the end of our time here. We're going to bring you back. I have to say, of the stunts, probably one of my most favorite episodes, other than yours, was the Haven Lock in 2018. Remember the guys where he drop kicked the door trying to break into it?
Oh my God, dude.
And the door wouldn't break open.
Dude, oh my God. I felt so bad for him.
All the sharks were laughing. It is the funniest.
I just want to know
ever.
what kind of lock that was.
It was just a standard lock on the door.
I know.
Yeah, and they want to show how easy it is to break in.
Anybody who hasn't seen it, I was so sad. It was so hard.
It was funny though. I think they're still doing
You're
well,
just
by
mean.
The way. But it was, that was a great. My daughter and I, we watch it all the time. Yeah, we watch it when we can. But,
oh my God.
Hey, Rick, thank you so much for joining the program. When we talk next, I want to start back with Shark Tank and pick up where we left off. And whenever you can legally say, I'd love to hear about the experience of being on Shark Tank and then what happened that helped propel the business. I know you started going on QVC after that, and it just took off.
I tell you, the exact details about the deal and all that, we don't talk about all those details because there's so much. Dude, the amount of time we have to talk to your audience, there's so many concepts of life and business that we need to cover that the details of Shark Tank, nobody really cares. And it doesn't matter because every one of us has a different experience anyway, so it's not going to really add value. So I'm gonna ask you to just steer away from all those minor details behind the scenes stuff because it just really doesn't matter.
Yeah, not behind the scenes. Yeah, just kind of what happened to grow the business because that's the fun part.
Yeah, like that's the growing pains and all that stuff. Yeah,
that's exciting.
Sure.
Like we're going to end, but I'll tell you one of my favorite commercials was some years ago, and it was a commercial of this company that had just launched their website. So you have all the 5 people that are in the company, only 5 people, and they're watching the computer. They launch the site, and then they're worried that no one's going to buy anything. And so they're watching it, and then finally they had their first purchase, and they're giving high fives, our first deal. And then they started to increase, and they were really celebrating and thinking, okay, this is a success now. And then it kept going up, and then they started to panic because they're thinking, how do we fulfill all of these orders? That's the kind of journey that I love.
I got
to
a
hear.
great story about that. I'll tell you next time.
On the next time.
We'll do it.
Rick, thanks for joining the program. I'm so happy to have you on board. You and I have spent some time together. You're an incredible person, a great leader. You're now helping other leaders become even better leaders. We can talk about that next program, but I'm glad you're here.
Right on, Ronnie. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on Business Decoded with Ronnie Spellman.
Thank you for listening to Business Decoded podcast with Ronnie Spellman. Please be sure to subscribe and share and stay tuned for more incredible Business Decoded episodes.